What's up, folks? Oddball back. One of these days I'm going to figure out a different intro, but it's your boy Oddball. Alright, so I was sitting here looking. I was like, what's a color combination I haven't done yet? And I thought about it. I was like, well, I got some of this white. And then I got some white marabou. And I was sitting there looking. I was like, well, I still have half of this from that earlier video. I was like, ooh, I can do a red and white. Ooh, that'd be pretty. Plus, I already had a red jig head painted because my kids want to see how it was done. And one of these days, I'll do a video on how to do that, or how I do my jig painting. But as for right now, we're going to hold off on that until I can get a better setup. But, yeah, we're going to do 32nd ounce candy hot rod red jig head number 4 hook. We're going to tie it off with this red denier. We're going to start at the head, and we're going to roll it on back. Yeah, and I realized that Galaxy Purple jig, my second video I ever did on here was the same color combination, and I didn't realize it. I thought I did something else for that, so I went ahead and took that video down because it wasn't good and probably wasn't nearly as entertaining. So, you got this one. Alright, that's where I want it. Alright. So, instead of stripping this, I'm just going to cut that much off, and that'll give me something to tie off on. And that's a perfect amount. Kudos to me. Alright, let's get that tied in. Ooh, this is going to be a tough one to tie off, because that's going to be a pain in the butt. Let's just see if I can do it this way. You have to get creative sometimes on doing this kind of stuff because things will not cooperate. Alright, instead of trying to trim that off, I'm just going to bury it, because why not? And we'll have this little red flap in here, which I wish I had straightened that up a little bit better. Maybe I could still do it. It's going to lay flat. It'll be fine. Alright, so we're going to take some of this white marabou, which I guess this is actually closer to what the original looks like, because marabou is literally just turkey feathers. And what do you think they do with the feathers after they slaughter all the turkeys for butterball? So, take some of this fuzz, measure out. I'm going to do about that much. And then we're going to tie that in. Make sure it's halfway straight. Pull that back and we'll lock it in. Alright. Reach in. And we'll bury as much of the fuzz as we can, which it'll be fine if we don't get it all buried, because it's going to be covered up in chenille here in a minute anyway. Alright, now that we got that, I've got some of this. I've got some iridescent. It's almost a pale white, but it's got some iridescence to it. And then I'm going to do some red with it. Kind of keeping on pace with kind of that bleeder pattern I did earlier. Which I don't know if I have the bleeder pattern uploaded at this point or not. We'll see. Probably not. So, if I don't, which it'll be fine. If I haven't done it, then I'll upload that one before I do this one. Simple as that. Oh, beautiful. This is going to be a good looking bug. Alright, get my other two pieces. Lay them in. Alright, then we roll to this other side. See, this is what I like doing. I like these new color combinations, which might not be new to other people tying or people who are more accustomed to using crappie jigs than me, because I ain't never had a pole long enough to go jigging. Up until a couple years ago, or I say a couple years, I think I've been fishing with the same fishing pole for 4 years now. Yeah, I've gotten some good mileage out of it. But like before that, all I ever used was a Shakespeare Firebird, like open top spinning reel. Love that thing. Or open face. I'm not sure exactly how to spinning reel, open top, whatever. Open face. The one that's got the little lever that you flip up and you just cast. That's what I like. And I fished with one of those, the same one, for like 8 years, and I finally had to retire it after I caught the big mama bass that I still remember fondly. She stripped the bearings out of the reel and broke my pole. But I got an 8 years worth of fishing out of it, so pretty good investment for 35 bucks back in the day. But we're going to tie this in. I think we might call this one Kringle's Revenge or something like that, even though it is 2 months past Christmas. Thank God. Christmas is too much of a headache these days. I gotta roll it back, gotta roll it back, roll it back, roll it back, roll it back. I missed a strand. I got it now. I got you where I want you. Anyway, me being weird. Some people ought to be accustomed to that now. If you're not, oh well, welcome to the freak show. Alright, so I got 4 strands of this stuff. I got 2 white and 2 red. And it's just simply so it'll build the body up a little bit better. Because I want this to be kind of a chubby bug. Kind of like me. Yeah, I realize I have gotten chunky. I can see it right here. I'm just like, So fat boy's got to go on a diet. Excuse me. Right, tie that head off. Okay. Beautimus. There you go. And we will do our whip finish. Alright. Cut. Handy dandy UV resin. Paint just a little bit on there. I'm curious to see how this one looks under the UV light. And it's blue. I need this to catalyze. Catalyzation happens pretty quick, but sometimes it doesn't feel like it does it quick enough. Plus, for the most part, unless you touch it, you really don't know if it's cured or not, which I'm pretty sure I put a thin enough layer on here that it is cured. But in my experience, wet resin looks the same as the dry resin, so it's dry. Cool. Alright. That up. Give it a little bit of a haircut, just a trim. Alright. And we got us a little white and red jig with some extra flashing. This would be really good. This ought to do really good. I don't know if I'm going to get a day this week where I can go fishing. Plus, there's too much water everywhere. Went out to Cut Off Creek earlier this week, or over the weekend, and for one thing, it was frickin' cold. But the other thing was, the water was too high. Like, I mean, I'm used to going out there and the water being 5 to 10 deep, 5 to 10 feet below where I'm standing. This time, I didn't even have 6 inches of clearance before the water started. So, cutoff was really full. But, I don't know. One of these days, water will start receding and I can go back to fishing. Maybe one of these days I'll get a boat. Anyway, y'all keep fishing. Take it easy.